Hello, everybody. This is Beth Worsdell, author, and I am here for Writers Rock. And this is officially my new show because people keep calling it a show. So I thought, okay, we will go with it. So we are here for the Witty Writers Show, and I'm with Carrie Humphrey. Hello, darling.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today. I've been super excited because you are a paranormal and contemporary romance author, and I've been so stoked. But before we get started, Carrie, I'm going to share our live stream with the groups, the Writers Rock group and the Writers Rock Readers group. So okay, if you want to share it as well, I'm just going to find us on my Facebook. Find us, where are we? Okay. Oh, I can see us here. Fantastic. There we go. We are live. I've just got to figure out how to share now. Okay, share. No. It's been a while. It's been a while. Now, as some of our viewers know, I recently broke another ankle, unfortunately. Oh, we got some people joining us. Fantastic. So obviously, while I was recovering from my broken ankle, I wasn't really doing a lot, Carrie, to be honest with you.
It's understandable.
I was a bit high as a kite on painkillers mostly and still suffering. But on the plus side of that, it has enabled me, Writers Rock Readers, there we go, post. It has enabled me to get quite a bit done, actually, which has been fantastic. Okay, newsfeed, post. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so quick at that. I even impressed myself. So hello, everybody. So we've got Kristen, thank you for joining us.
Hi, Kristen.
Hello. We've also got so far, we got Missy.
Hi, Missy.
She says, go, Carrie. Yes, we love a bit of author support. We got Margie.
Hi, Margie.
Thank you, Margie, for joining us. And Kristen says Carrie is the best.
Oh,
lovely. So thank you all for joining us today. Now, as I said, I've been so super excited because I'm a huge fan of paranormal stories, especially if they've got romance in there as well. And you also do contemporary as well. Now, I was really impressed when I Googled you. I really was. And we've got quite a few people here that I've not encountered before. So they're your followers, which is great. Now, I Google my interviewees as a reader would. So I see what they see when they go searching for you. Your reviews are fantastic.
Thank you.
I was impressed. I saw on Amazon, you've got like 4.7 out of 5. Good is an average of 4.5 out of 5. That is fantastic. No wonder you're popular.
Thank you.
It's all good. Oh, we got a new viewer as well. Antoinette, thank you very much for joining us.
Hi.
Fantastic. So now I did notice that you've been writing for a very, very long time, since school, in fact.
Yeah. I used to, when I was I probably started in middle school to high school, I would write fan fiction with my friends, and we had this just this notebook of like loose leaf paper, and we would write a page and then pass it off to the next friend and write a page and pass it off to the next friend. And it was so much fun because we were very nerdy and very much ourselves, and we did that. And then I lost track of it for a while. And after I had my second kid, I started up again, just doing like fan fiction. And then after my third one, I was like, you know what? I'm going to write something start to finish and publish it. And that's where my first book came out from.
That's absolutely fantastic. So in fact, when you was in middle grade and high school, you was basically writing anthologies with your friends.
Yeah. We made up characters, and it was great. I mean, I still have some of them. They'll probably be horrified to know that I still have them, but I have them.
I absolutely love that. Oh, we've got some comments. I'm going to try and share people's comments as we're doing the interview, so everybody can join in. So if anybody's got any questions for Carrie, please post them. I will share them, and we will get through them as much as we can. Kristen says she's a great writer.
Kristen is one of my newest cheerleaders. I love her. She's sweet.
Oh, do you know what? I got to tell you, isn't it amazing how many new friends that you make through writing books?
Yes, writers, I will tell people one of the number one things that I didn't expect when I entered this world was just how amazing all writers are. I've been to several conventions, several signings and different things like that, and writers are by far the best people I've ever encountered in my life.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. And one of the plus and minus points of being an author, I think, is the people that you really think are going to be your massive supporters generally aren't.
Yeah.
But you do get to meet so many fantastic people, as you said, which is one of the reasons why I love the Writers Rock group, because, everybody is so supportive of everybody else, and trying to give tips and advice and
absolutely,
and supporting each other instead of seeing each other as competition. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. And Kristen says she's your number one fan.
She's sweet.
I love that. It's so lovely. So we got another comment. We got Leanna. She said, hi, just a quick stop. I have to leave shortly to go to the doctor. Hi, Leanna. Do you know what? This lady, you need to make friends with her if you haven't already, Carrie, because she's a fantastic book blogger.
Good.
She's also an author, and I say that because she is writing at the moment. So once you start writing, as you know, you are an author.
I agree.
She is the funniest lady ever. I swear to you, every time I see one of her posts, I am dying. Dying. She's got the most wicked sense of humor. I can't wait to read her books, I tell you. Thank you, Leanna. Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Thank you for joining us. We've also got Vicky. Hi, Vicky. Cool. We're doing well today. Look, this is fantastic. You know what it is? It's because everyone's stuck at home. Now we're all locked down again.
Well, we are. Yeah, we're getting there.
But we're blessed to have you all. Bernetta, she says, blessings and great to be here to support. Thank you, darling.
Hi.
And we also have Missy. How many characters did you base on real people? Now, that's a very interesting question because you've got how many books out now?
I've got 5 full-length novels, working on number 6, and 5 short stories that are published. I've also got 3 anthologies that I've hosted that have short stories in them as well.
That's absolutely fantastic. Now, your first one was part of a series, wasn't it? It was part of is it Briarberry Estate series?
Yes. So, yeah, the first book is Fanged and Confused, and it's a part of that series, yeah.
I've got to tell you, I absolutely love the covers. They are absolutely stunning.
Thank you. Are the new covers the ones I just released?
They've got really... I've
made them myself, actually.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, she's a lady of many hats. What can I tell? So come on then, tell us and Missy, how many characters did you base on real people? And
Missy.
And I'm going to add, were they nice characters or not?
So only Missy I've based them on. No, I love to people watch. I'm one of those weird writers that is very extroverted.
Yes.
So I love being around people. I recharge with people. I love going out and people watch a lot. So I wouldn't say that the characters are based solely on one person, but they may be based on like one incident that I've seen with people. My husband was in the military for a while, and I met a lot of really interesting people in the military. And then, like I said, I like to go out. I like to travel. I like to do things like that. So it's more people as a collective. I wouldn't say I base it off of any one in particular person.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because I'm quite a people person, people watcher myself. And I must admit, if I'm sat at an airport, I love watching people, especially how they interact with each other as well. You know, you see the husband and wife starting to ping off because one of them's stressed out. And you got, loads of people that, look a bit dodgy, maybe.
Yep. We love to do cruises back when cruise ships were still running. And great people watching on cruise ships too.
Yeah, I agree. I tell you what, it's amazing, isn't it? Because it's those little quirks that you see in other people that can give your characters real depth and individuality. I can't believe I said that. Normally, that's one of those words where you try to say, but you're like, what?
Yeah. I love when you people watch too, so I write paranormal characters, and when people think of paranormal characters, they think of these perfect creatures of the night or of the day or whatever. And I very much like to give them flaws and make them extraordinarily humanistic. So when I people watch, I grab these little personality traits or these flaws that people look and say, oh, I don't like. And I'm like, no, I love that. I think that's great. We're going to pull that,
Yeah.
So I think that's super important to make your characters human, even if they're not.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when you give your characters little traits like that and little things that make them more real, I think your readers connect with them better. I don't know about you, but one of the funniest messages I got was from one of my readers, and she said, I can't believe you said that your character James farted as he got out of bed. And I went, well, it happens.
I had a friend who said, she's one that I talk to about my books a lot, and she's like, you know what I've never seen in books? And I'm like, what? Like what? She's like, I've never seen them do laundry. And I was like, I'm adding that. So in my second book, they do their own laundry. There's a whole laundry room at the estate, and they sit there and they do laundry because it's like those little things that people don't think about, but they're funny if you can add them in.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely agree. I think, as I said, I think your readers connect better when your characters do things that they would do.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? It makes it more real.
Absolutely.
So let's have a look. Oh my gosh, we got loads of comments. We do. Okay, so we did that one. Then we did that one. Oh, Bernetta says, blessings, great here to be supportive. I think I might have done that one already. Done that one. Oh, Carrie, Margie says, Carrie's books take you to wonderful places. I love that. So out of all your books, which location would you say is your favorite that you got to write about?
Well, they're all made up locations based off of personal experience. So Briarberry is located in North Carolina, which is where I live, and it's located like in the mountains. So I always think about when I go to the mountains, and I have family that lives in the mountains, like just these little town settings and these little quaint neighborhoods and different things like that. My contemporary romance, also the same thing. I created a small, tiny little town, and I made it a tourist town with a lake. I live near a lake, so I kind of took the same situations of what I encounter here, mixed with like the tiny mountain towns and the, the different cultures and things like that. I would love to go overseas and write about being overseas. Haven't gotten the chance to do a whole lot there. I have been to Australia, but beyond that, I haven't really done much more. I just kind of stay in North Carolina.
Yeah, well, it's tricky, isn't it? Because you've got 3 children.
I do, yes.
Yeah, having children, your whole, as parents, your whole life revolves around those kids, aren't they? And when they're in school and everything else, I've got 4 children, and trying to go anywhere with 3 or 4 kids is not only, a huge task, but it costs a fortune.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why we like to do cruises as a family personally, just because it's contained and we can go to different places. And I have 2 older kids and 1 younger kid. So that kind of threw a little, what the older kids could do now if we traveled, the younger one still is not able to do. So that kind of threw a dent into it, but we're getting there. As soon as things open up, we would like to travel again.
Oh, was your youngest a surprise?
Yes.
I only ask because all 4 of mine were surprises.
I guess you could say the first and the last were both surprises. I have to be careful. My mom and my sister are both on this. My first one, I was very young. and she was a surprise, but she's in college right now. So, you know,
Oh,
doing all right. And then the youngest one was definitely a surprise, but he's almost 7 now. So it's great.
It's amazing, isn't it, how life takes you on unexpected journeys.
Yeah.
Because, all 4 of mine were surprises.
Yeah.
Especially my last one, because I just got rid of everything and then bam.
That's kind of what happened with the last one for us too. Yeah. And it was weird because there's a big age gap between the first and the last one, at least 10 years. So everything that I remembered from the first one is now completely different from the last one. So it's been a wild ride.
Yeah, I feel for you. Mine was like 5 years and above. So I completely understand. Now, as a busy mum, and you work, and you've got 3 children, how do you fit your writing in? Because obviously we're all different. Sometimes we're, day writers. Sometimes we're night owls. I'm a night owl. So when do you find your time to actually get stuck in?
Writing is my job. So first and foremost, I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Right.
And with virtual school, everything that I was doing kind of halted. So now I'm a home, teacher and all that fun stuff. During the day, I try to do sprints, 25-minute sprints when I can. And it's just whenever I get a chance, really. Whenever my husband finally gets home from work at night, sometimes I'll hide away and I'll work then. But honestly, if I can just sit down for an hour to 2 hours every day, I can get some solid words in and just kind of roll with that.
Yeah, I think it's an important question, isn't it? Because I think a lot of authors, especially if they're new authors, struggle to try and get that time in. But I've said to many other writers, write whenever you got opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, when before this lockdown happened, I would have to literally sit outside my daughter's school for nearly an hour waiting for her to come out.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get parking. So I used to get my phone out or take my iPad and I would spend that hour writing.
Yep.
And it's amazing how much you can get done, isn't it? As you said, if you take every opportunity and, right away, it's amazing. Now, through your writing process, what do you think has been the most beneficial for you on programs and writing apps? For me, I use Google Documents because it literally saves everything the moment I type. Mm-hmm. What sort of platforms do you use that help you?
I use Word. I mean, I'm pretty traditional with Word. I do have Google Docs, and sometimes I'll transfer it over there, especially if I'm writing short stories. That way, if I'm in the car ride or line or whatever, for school, I can just pull it up and kind of just work on it there. I have a program called Pro Writing Aid, which helps with editing, because I am atrocious at that. And that helps tremendously. But I'm also one of those people that thrive on telling me, like showing me what I did wrong and helping me figure it out so that I can learn as I go. Yeah. And that does that. So it's like, here, this is the word that you meant. This is what you wrote. This is why you need to change it. This is why you need a comma and different things like that. I don't have a whole lot of programs that I use.
Yeah.
I will 100% say that YouTube has saved my life on several occasions for different things other than writing, like graphic design and formatting. YouTube is a great resource.
It really is.
It really is.
You can learn pretty much anything nowadays on YouTube. And
you really can. You really can. I go there all the time. How do I skip a page number in Word because I can't figure it out? And someone will step by step talk about it. And I'm like, okay, cool. Save that away and then, continue going.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And it's amazing, isn't it, how much you learn with each book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I mean, when I did my third novel, I learned so much by then about the editing process and formatting my manuscript and everything else. I then had to go back and go over my other books.
Yeah, that's kind of why I just did the re-release, is because I went back and did some more editing and things that I didn't do the first time. And then I redid the book covers because I learned sort of what people are looking for. I do love photography, and so I try to sometimes add that in, and but yeah, I'm constantly learning and I love it.
It's mental, isn't it? It's one of those things, you've got no idea how much is involved in producing books, producing stories, until you actually do it.
I just did an interview with my library, and they said, what was one thing that was like one thing that you've learned about the whole process? And I said that writing was the easiest part, because I mean, it is. Writing the book is the easiest part. Everything that comes after that, there are days when my kids are like, "Are we eating dinner tonight?" And I'm like, "No, you can have cereal." Like, I don't even know what we're doing.
I don't know what day it is.
Yeah, I was like, do you need to go to school? Like, what's going on?
Oh my gosh. Well, let's put some more questions in that in. Leanna says, haha, thank you. I love to make people laugh. Bless her, she does. Honestly, she's the funniest. I love her to bits. Christine Parker. I'm not sure how to say your last bit of your name. I'm sorry. I don't want to make a hash of it. But hi, Christine. Thank you for joining us. Kristen says, Carrie is a goddess. Oh, I love that. And do you know what? It's lovely when you get women lifting up other women for a change. I absolutely love it.
I live on that. There's nothing that I love more than watching other people succeed. I love it.
Well, this is one of the reasons why I do these interviews, to help other people. So I'm with you, that 100%. Hi, Marcy. Marcy is also an author as well. And she's a fantastic book about adoption and the process of, going through something life-changing. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Hi, Marcy. Leanna says she's written short stories but not had them published. She does write poetry and she has one published so far. How nervous were you releasing your first book?
I was terrified.
You was?
I was terrified. I had maybe my mom, my mother-in-law, a friend of the family, my husband, the kids. We were all, I think we did like a release party at like the table and stuff, but like I couldn't, because I self-publish and I couldn't hit that publish button. So I think my husband like came over and was like, all right, we're good. Like it's still to this day, anytime I hit publish, I'm like, well, here we go,
What was you more worried about? Was you more worried about people not buying your books, or worried that people wouldn't enjoy them? I mean, we all, every one of us has that self-doubt. But what was your main concern?
That people wouldn't like it, or that it didn't meet their expectations, because I loved it. And I worked, I think, for my first book took about 1.5 years to do. I'm definitely quicker at that process now, but yeah, I think it was just because I tried to make it different. It's paranormal romance, and I didn't want the main character to fall madly in love and head over heels with her soulmate right away. So I put these twists and these nuances and these different things into the book, and I was like, okay, it's different. Let's just wing it and go. But now the reviews kept coming in and they were really positive, and people would read it and they're like, no, it's really good. You need to edit a little bit more. And I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it, but the story's good, and people are enjoying that. So now it's less scary, but still, when I wrote my first contemporary romance too, I was like, oh my gosh, contemporary romance readers are ravenous. And I was like, oh gosh, they're worse than paranormal readers. And I was like, I don't even know what they're going to do. But so far people have enjoyed it. So
they're going to chew you up and spit you out.
I mean, they do. They do. And they read them in like a day. I mean, they are just insane. So it's, but so far people have really enjoyed it. So that's,
that's amazing. So what inspired your first book? What gave you the inspiration to start writing it?
So that kind of ties in with the question that I see that Connie wrote, which, hi Mom. I love reading paranormal romance. That's like my jam. And my favorite author, J.R. Ward, writes this Black Dagger Brotherhood series, which is like 19 books deep at this point. It's very, very good. And I love them, but I was like, what if we had your main character who's a vampire who doesn't know how to be one? Like, she doesn't know how to bite anybody, or she like trips over her own 2 feet and she falls down the stairs because she's clumsy, and she didn't wake up as a vampire and she wasn't perfect. You know, she didn't wake up and she's like, I have all the knowledge. I can do anything I want. Let me run. No, she wakes up and she's like, I'm in a trash can in the day. Like, I don't know what's happening. And I was like, what if I did that? So I had massive brainstorming sessions with some of my friends on the phone, and it just kind of cycled through. And then I was like, all right, book 1's done. Cool. Let's make it a trilogy. And then I created this world. So each character set is going to have a trilogy. So then it just kind of spiraled from there.
That's absolutely fantastic. And I love that. I absolutely love that. I love the fact that your characters are like real people.
They are. They're my poor, in the South, because I know you said you've lived down here in the South, that we, bless this mess or bless this hot mess. That is my poor lead character. She is a hot mess. And she is. In the first 3 books, she's kind of figuring that out.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Now, there is a huge market for the paranormal romance. I mean, obviously, Stephanie Meyer exploded onto the scene, with Twilight and everything else. And there hasn't really been anything big since then. And I think what you're writing is absolutely fantastic, because she's left a massive hole, hasn't she? And I think people in the publishing business, the literary agents, the publishing houses, I think they're so scared of really going for it with anything else to do with vampires, because it's just been done, not realizing that all these readers out there are waiting for the next vampire story they can sink their teeth into. They're waiting for it. So I absolutely love the fact that you're doing these books. Now, what made you decide to go with self-publishing?
I'm impatient. So, I mean, we're going to be perfectly honest with that. I wrote the book and I sent it out to a couple publishers and got back, no thank yous, and which is totally common, and it didn't really hurt my feelings much, because if it wasn't what they're looking for, it's not what they're looking for. Yeah. But I was impatient, and I was like, no, this needs to be out there. Like this needs to be out there. Like I need people to read this. So I went the self-publishing route, and I just do Amazon right now, and maybe eventually I'll branch out into, wider venues and whatever. But it really has given the opportunity for anybody to publish. And I wanted people to read it. So I was like, instead of waiting for somebody to, say, okay, we'll take this and we'll go. And I was like, no, let's just get it out there.
I think it's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I hope all the Twilight fans out there that were hoping for somebody else that's going to do some, vampire stories justice, find you. I really, really do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, because there's only like 2 vampires in my story. So like my main male character is not one, but you don't know what he is until the end of the book. And so it's kind of a little bit of a tease. And then one of her really good friends is human. There's some werewolves in there who are alphas, but they don't really want to be one. And so it's just kind of, it's a modge podge of characters.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. It sounds like you got something in there for everybody. It really does. So Christine says, I look for Christian Grey.
Me too. If you find him, let me know.
I got to tell you, I think Henry Cavill would have.
Oh my God.
Christian Grey.
The Witcher's fantastic.
Yes. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, Connie says, is there an author that has given you particular inspiration to write?
I mean, it probably is J.R. Ward. recently, and she writes the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, and she is a foul-mouthed wonder, and I adore her so much. I've gotten a chance to meet her. I went to a Q&A in Cincinnati a couple years ago. I just loved what she did, and I don't know, she just struck a chord that, I mean, anything she puts out, I'll pick up and I'll read in a heartbeat. But there are so many authors out there that are so amazing. I mean, I read Twilight and I loved it at the time, and I would never knock anybody for reading anything because you're reading, and that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to write fan fiction, write fan fiction. If you want to read Twilight and you loved it, my gosh, yes, keep reading. J.K. Rowling, love her. Harry Potter's my generation and up, you know. But I would say currently it would probably be J.R. Ward. Yeah, I mean, but when I was younger, it was more writing fan fiction from like sci-fi stuff and different things. But yeah, I would have to say it was her.
It's amazing, isn't it, how we get inspired by so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always in the genre that we write. I mean, I don't know, you know, how many different genres you like to you know, absorb. But I was actually a horror fan. You know, I love Stephen King and James Herbert and people like that, and yet I write sci-fi. So, you know, I think for other authors and new authors, it doesn't matter what you read.
Yeah.
That's always defined, does it, what you're actually going to write? We've got some more questions. Have a look. Oh, Leanna says you look amazing for someone with a college kid. I agree.
Thank you. We my husband and I are high school sweethearts, so we've been together for quite some time and had her when we were pretty young. But we've stuck it through. So thank you.
Do you know what? I think on a personal note, I think you get such a strong bond when you have a child at a young age. Because my mum had me at 17. And my mum is my best friend. I mean, we're so close. Yeah. And I don't know about you.
College has been hard this past 3 months. Having her all the way in Virginia, it's been eye-opening and hard.
It's tough. But also, and you've probably felt this, the older your daughter gets, the less the gap feels.
Yeah.
In age. Do you know what I mean? Because now, when I'm 50 next year, God, I feel old just saying it. I've got to tell you.
You're not old.
I can't. My mum always says you're as old as the man you feel, which doesn't do me any good because my husband's older than me. So
mine's younger than me, but not by much, but he is.
But now I'm 50, you know, the age gap between me and my mum doesn't feel anything. So that's, you know, it's lovely. I look forward to you enjoying your journey with your daughter. Kristen says, I cannot begin to describe how amazing and helpful Carrie has been to me. Oh,
she's sweet.
That is so.
I've been doing anthologies with some new writers and helping them get published in these anthologies and stuff. And she's one of them. And she's truly, they're all amazing. I call them all my baby authors. They're all amazing.
Oh, I think that's fantastic. I think what you're doing for other authors is absolutely wonderful, especially because it gives people such a boost.
It does.
It really does. And the confidence to actually go for.
A couple of them are now writing their own novels and want to publish on their own. And I'm like, what can I do to cheer you on the side? Because I didn't get to where I am today without the help of other people. So it's amazing.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Vicky says, I'm so sorry I had to run to get my cornbread out of the oven.
I'll take some, please.
Vicky, I know. Did she have to mention food? If
we're doing Taco Bell for dinner, I'll take cornbread though, if you've got any extra.
If my stomach starts growling, Vicky, I'm going to have to blame you. Mm-hmm. Alison, hi, Alison. Carrie is the best. Oh,
I've got a lot of my cheerleaders in here today.
You have. I think it's wonderful. Alison says, will you ever write about the Lilac Mafia? Oh, tell me more.
I can't because it's the Lilac Mafia.
Oh, really?
It's honestly, I've known Alison for 20 years at this point.
Oh,
We were in high school together, and it was just an interesting situation with a lilac bush. So from there, when we both get into some amount of trouble, we say that's who we're gonna. I can't say too much because then we'll be in trouble.
my mind is just reeling right now with possibilities. I got.
Oh yeah.
Carrie.
Oh my gosh, she's so funny.
Oh, T's joined us as well. Hi, T.
Oh,
For joining us, darling. She is fabulous, and she does lots of really inspirational videos and everything. She is absolutely fantastic. Vicky says sorry. I actually tried to make cornbread once. It was a disaster.
I use the box stuff, but my family's not a big fan. So every once in a while I'll make it and I'm like, I don't care if you guys don't eat it. I'm going to eat it. So,
well, my husband did not marry me for my cooking. Thank God.
All my family says I'm an amazing cook. And I'm like, dude, we had hot dogs and macaroni and cheese tonight. Like, I don't see that being as amazing, but they
obviously love it.
They do. They do.
I think that's great. Oh, I think that's great. Now, I've got to say, I think that one of the journeys that we have as authors is our research. It's such a big part of our process, isn't it? Is trying to be factual, realistic, and give people details that they know is going to be right.
Mm-hmm.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever had to Google, Carrie?
Oh my God. I just told my husband the other day, I was like, right now in my Google search is what kind of injuries can you get from a house fire? How do you ride a motorcycle with a prosthetic leg? I can't remember what the other thing was. And he's like, what are you riding? It's like, I don't even know. I don't know.
I'm crying here right now. I'd ride a motorcycle with a prosthetic.
This is why you have your best friends that are in the Lilac Mafia that you've said, when I die, clear that history, because we don't even, I even keep the history on my phone as private so that it clears on its own, because I have researched some wacky stuff and I don't write human. So it's, I'm like, yeah. So the most recent thing was, can you ride a motorcycle with a prosthetic leg? What kind of burns do you get from a house fire? I think I've researched how to effectively blow up a car. Like what do you need to do to like make it look like an accident?
So ladies and gentlemen, Carrie might be stormed by the FBI shortly because red flags are going up right now.
So last year, my local police department has this amazing program where you can come in and you do a 12-week class with them. And it's called the Mooresville, it's like the Citizen Police Academy. Oh, and it's amazing. And I did it last year. I was supposed to do the fire department one this year, but we had to cancel it from COVID and stuff. But I remember them saying, tell me your name and why you're here. And I was like, my name's Carrie and I'm an author. And they were like, oh no. So every once in a while I'm like, I have a question. And they're like, no, we don't think we want to know what your question is.
Oh my God. You could have taken this cup with you. This is my daughter bought me this, look.
Yeah, I have one like that. So it ended up being a running like does anybody want to help us with it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it all. Like So the firefighter one would have been fun because my first contemporary romance has a female firefighter in it. So I was hoping to sort of balance out my facts. But I hear from somebody who works in a fire station that it was pretty factual. So I was like, all right, we'll take it.
I didn't know you could do things like that. I might have to look into that for my son because he would love to do stuff like that. Brilliant.
I didn't know you could either. And I was probably the youngest one there. A lot of our older generation in our town did it. But it was amazing. It was like, basically it was sort of creating a buffer between the police officers and civilians, and me having gone through 12 weeks of stuff with them, so that when someone said something that maybe wasn't accurate or whatever, I could be like, oh, hold on. You actually need to do this in order to do this. And they're like, well, how do you know that? And I'm like, I've got some some brief knowledge about it. It was really, really cool. And unfortunately, during that time, we had a tragic situation with our police department. But fortunately, the situation was really horrible. But it was so nice to see the camaraderie and how everybody came together as a town. I live in a small town, and it was cool. Yeah, if anybody, look up to see if your town does it, because it was really neat.
I'm definitely going to have to do that. I really am. That's absolutely amazing. Okay, we've got some other. Oh, there we go. Oh, T says she started her second.
Good.
Finally, congratulations.
Good job. Congrats.
Let us know when it's releasing and we'll get you on here. Margie says, when is your next release? And I will add, what is it about?
Margie. No. She's my PA. She knows better than to ask me that question. I don't know the answer to it.
It's my job to get you, out there.
So we have a winter anthology that is coming out January 1st. And I'm going to say that out loud so that all of my baby authors that are in that anthology continue writing your stories. They're due soon. I know, right? My next book in the Oak Glen romance series, which is my contemporary romance series, I'm doing for Nano right now. So I'm at 37,000 in that. So maybe it'll be out middle of January, February.
Fantastic.
It all depends on whether or not. So my youngest one is 6.5 years old, my youngest child. And right now he is going to school. I have a feeling that will change. If that changes, my releases will get pushed back because I will have to be juggling him, my high schooler, and my college student will be home. So
yeah. It's a weird situation right now for absolutely everybody, isn't it? Okay, we've got another question. Kristen says, Carrie is very inspirational. I hope one day to follow in her footsteps. Oh,
she's a sweetheart.
That is so nice. Alison says, bah, don't check her Google search.
Oh, my friend's about to get me in trouble.
Right, well, I think you and I, Carrie, should find out exactly what is the weirdest thing that our viewers have ever had to Google. I think that would be only fair. So I think you should start fessing up, people. Start letting us know. Bernetta says, thank you very much for sharing your story. It gives hope to authors like herself. Aww. Truly amazing, and keep it going, Carrie. The best is yet to come.
Y'all are going to make me cry, and I have been emotional wreck for weeks now.
Oh,
you got this. I just write it. Do it. Like, honestly, if I could do it, anybody can do it. I say that with every ounce of me.
I said the same thing. I think it was yesterday, actually, to a really lovely book blogger who's very tempted, but she just needed that little push. And I said to her, life's too short. Life is short. Yeah. Life is precious. If you've got a dream, chase it, because you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. So just
absolutely.
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. So go for it. Kristen says, my mom worked as a police officer, so I just ask her all my questions.
Kristen, I didn't know that, and I've got questions, so I'll be messaging you.
So her mum is a live version of Google. I love it.
That's all right. Well, we'll be talking later.
I love people that are just a wealth of knowledge of facts.
Oh yeah.
I come out. It's funny because my kids think it's hilarious. I'll come out with some random fact, and they'll go, "How on earth do you know that?"
My middle child is really good at that.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah,
and yet I am the person that can go from the kitchen to the laundry room and freaking forget what I was going in there for.
Oh, me too.
How does that work?
I have no idea. I can't even remember half the. To being perfectly honest here, I could spit off some really random facts, but if you ask me all the characters' names in my first book, I probably couldn't tell you.
No, because we've already moved on to the next one.
Yeah, they're like, well, what did this character do? And I'm like, is that character in the book? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, hang on. I'm going to need to create a character Bible because I couldn't tell you.
I know. It's crazy. But the thing is, when they're big books as well.
Yeah.
goes. You retain what you need.
Yep.
Kristen says, I'm writing for the winter anthology. I'm writing, I swear.
She is.
I love it. I absolutely love it. We've got another one. Missy says, I taught sex ed. My Google search is SNFW.
Not suitable for work. And I know this is a personal fact. That's my sister.
I love it. I can't even say what I've Googled in the past because
I'm not gonna.
No, it'd have to be.
We'll just go with what my most recent one is, but I'm not going to go into detail on what I have.
Exactly. Kristen says the strangest thing I've researched: how do pirates poop?
That was for our
God,
Seize the Day anthology, I would imagine.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying here. Kristen, I'm going to have to send you a private message and find out because now you've got me seriously intrigued. That's awesome. T says, start with the first letter and then the first word, the first paragraph, and well, before you know it, there is page 1.
Yep.
Absolutely, T. Absolutely. Just need a start. Bernetta says, yeah, I have book number 2 coming out in March 2020. By the way, Carrie, woo! Grateful of you indeed. Oh, that's so lovely. I tell you, we really do have fantastic support here. Alison says, weirdest thing I think I've searched is how to remove foreign objects from noses.
It should also be noted that she has 3 boys.
Do you know what?
That shouldn't be a surprise.
I've got 2 boys and 2 girls, and the things that my Harry shoved when he was a kid, you wouldn't believe. And I think the first time your kid ever does it, you get all panic stricken. Oh my God. You take them to ER and they either blow or you something up the nose, but you never go back again, do you? You're like, I could do that at home. It's not worth the trip to the ER.
Yeah. I've noticed that with 1, 2, and then when my third one does something, I'm like, you're fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You're okay.
Okay, so T says, just start now, please. Don't let procrastination kill your dreams.
Agreed.
I absolutely agree. Carrie, you've been an absolute joy to talk to.
Thank you.
I'm so thrilled for you. And as I said, your reviews are absolutely amazing. Now, what I'm going to do, because I want to give you a bit of extra support here. So what I'm going to do for our viewers, if you share Carrie's interview. Oh, that's my doorbell. Ding-ling.
I have the same one. I was looking at my phone like, is someone at my door?
I know. I went shopping recently and somebody's went off and I'm like searching my bag and then it took me 5 minutes to realize it was somebody else's.
I've done that too as well, yeah.
So viewers, if you share Carrie's interview video, which will obviously be on my author page, if you share it and get her more exposure, and tag myself or my page and Carrie, so she does indeed get more exposure, you could receive one of these bookmarks.
Ooh.
Me personally, as a thank you for helping Carrie out. As you know, the reason we do these interviews is to help other authors and get them out there and get word spreading. So thank you, Carrie. You've been absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you'll come back again. Maybe we can do another one just before your next release.
Yeah. I'm hoping that this I'm hoping I can get this book done. I think it'll be fine. And then Kristen, actually, one of the ones that's been messaging me, has gotten me hyped to write a series that I've been writing for like 10 years, but it's never actually like came into a book form.
Right.
So I might be starting that one when I'm done with this one. So we'll see.
Oh, how exciting.
Yeah.
How exciting. Now, before I forget as well, you've got a Facebook page.
Yes.
You're Goodreads, so you're pretty much everywhere.
Facebook, Goodreads, BookBub, and Amazon.
Fantastic. So if you could put your links underneath the video for everybody to find, that would be fantastic. And then obviously people can follow you and find out all the information about your books.
I will do that later on today because I would imagine the boys are getting a little restless when
No rush. Connie says enjoyed it. Thank you very much, Connie. And everybody who has joined today. Oh, my volume went weird then. Sorry.
That's okay.
That was a bit weird. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. And because obviously some of you I might not get to see on our next author interview, but happy Thanksgiving in advance, everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays to everybody, too. I know it's going to be a weird year, but I'm grateful for everybody, and everybody stay safe.
Exactly. We'll stay safe and well. I think my next author interview is maybe on Monday, I believe. But check out on my author page for all the dates and relevant times and everything else. I think it's all working as it should now. Hopefully. The other day I missed you, I was stressing out a bit, wasn't I, Carrie? Because it was doing the wrong times and everything. But
oh yeah, Facebook has been wacky lately. It's technology.
Thank you, my darling. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Thank you, and hopefully people will be able to watch this later on, maybe if they haven't had a chance to watch, live. But if you've got any questions for Carrie, if you're watching this later on today or tomorrow, whatever, if you want to ask Carrie anything, please put it in the comments underneath. Tag her or a page or whatever so she can see it. And don't forget to share it, and then you could possibly win one of these key rings. Oh, look at this. Margie, she's look at
her on top of it for me today.
Look at that. I just say it and she does it. I need a personal assistant like
she's amazing. And just in case anybody's interested, I did re-release all my books with new covers, and they are all 99 cents right now. So
grab them quick because they are beautiful and their reviews are amazing.
Thank you. They've been so much fun to write. So
it's fantastic. Yeah. She's going to be the next Stephanie Meyer. So get in there quick and get buying, because then you know her before she gets famous.
Thank you.
Thank you, my darling. And I will see you soon as you've got another release coming through.
Absolutely. I'll let you know when that happens.
Wonderful. Bye, everybody, and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.